All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm Ava, and today I'll be taking you all through the wonderful world of A Hat in Time through speedrunning the Any Percent route of the video game. And first of all, I need to know which die won the bid war.
All right, I can verify with one last refresh. The winning outfit is Cute and Dangerous.
All right, I think that should already be in. Good, it is. All right, then without further ado, I'll go ahead and start, and my commentator can go ahead and introduce themselves while I just do the first section of the game. Let's go. Okay, so if my commentator can't hear me, there might be an issue with that. So I guess I'll just start off until that's potentially fixed. So yeah, this is A Hat in Time. This is Welcome to Mafia Town, the first level of the game. Essentially, the game's about collecting these timepieces. It's sort of reminiscent of like Super Mario Sunshine. It's a very reminiscent game in many ways, where you just collect, instead of the stars, you're collecting timepieces. And yeah, there are a lot of levels that take heavy inspiration from that genre of game. Also, not having the greatest start here, but that's fine. Oh. So there seems to be some performance issue, but we'll manage. But yeah, so what I just crafted is a sprint hat, which will be used through a majority of the run, which is the primary movement, I guess, hat or tool that we get in the run. And yeah, that's pretty much the purpose of the sprint hat. It allows us to sprint, and allows us to use three different tech that are crucial for the speedrun and for the ride itself. And these, like sprint tech, are the STJ, the DSJ, and the TSJ, which are all different kinds of jumps. So the DSJ is a double sprint jump, which allows you to go pretty far, pretty fast. The STJ is the furthest length jump, but it's not as fast as the DSJ, so I'll show you a DSJ right here. So it's like that. Allows us to get both the height and the speed to be able to collect that yarn over there. And then there's also the TSJ, which is the tallest kind of jump we can get in the game, and it's not super useful, but it has some use, and it's especially useful for some of the new strats that we found. So you'll also be seeing that throughout the run. I'll try to remind people whenever that is. And yeah, so far we've just been traveling around Mafia Town, collecting yarn, crafting hats. Now we're getting the Brewer hat, which is sort of like an attack hat that allows us to break crates and yeah, just pretty much just break things in our way, and sometimes also damage enemies. It's incredibly useful as well. So yeah, pretty much what we're doing right now is just doing the first few levels and collecting as many yarn as possible, as fast as possible in those levels. And yeah, you'll see why that comes in handy later on. But yeah, so this is kind of an auto-scroller part, and so is the next level. So now that I'm done with this, if there are any donations to read, feel free to read them now.
Absolutely, we have a few over here. So here is $100 from Anonymous with no comment, but thank you very much for your generosity and for putting it to 4 different incentives, which I'm sure will be really nice once we can get them all met. We also have $10 from Popiter with just a singular eye emoji. And that was also going to the Cute and Dangerous outfit, so that was a big help for that. And finally, I believe we have $10 from Artemis saying, have to show some support during my friend's run. Good luck, Ava, and trans rights.
Heck yeah! Thank you so much, Artemis. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, trans rights, and hope everyone's having a good time with the run so far. This is Burial Battle. As I said, it's a kind of an auto-scroller. We're pretty much just going to be fighting these Mafia guys, and then we're going to do a little dance, I think. So, hope everyone's ready and seated for intense auto-scroller action coming up at a stream near you very soon. So, this guy's going to be throwing these barrels down from this pile of barrels, I suppose. But the thing that makes this an auto-scroller is that we can simply just stand here. Hands-free, nothing to do, and these barrels will not hit you. The game is intentionally designed this way, so yeah, there's nothing to do other than dance. And since this is an auto-scroller, it's going to last a little bit longer. If you have even more donations, just feel free to read them now.
I did just refresh, and we have another little wave of donations here. It's $10 from Lexi saying, Ava, I'm sorry I couldn't be there in time, but best of luck on your run. We also have $50 from Ananas saying, hello again, ESA. Great to be here again in the audience with an ice cream. Cheering for amazing runs and a great cause. Good luck, Evanesia. And finally, another $5 from Naomi saying, hi, Ava. It is your former ESA roommate. Fantastic to see you once again running this fantastic game. Give it all you got. Can you give the mustache girl the timepiece at the end for me?
Debatable. I'll see what I can do if I remember. But yeah, so that was Barrel Battle. Basically, we saved Mustache Girl. The story in this game is very poorly written and not really an important part of why we do this run. But yeah, so we saved Mustache Girl, who now teams up with us for us to take down the Mafia. Hence, down with the Mafia. So I'm actually going to be using a tech here. With the boop emote, so yeah, missed a little bit. So the boop emote kind of breaks the physics of the game. I'm not exactly like 100% confident on how it does it, but it allows us to do some really funny stuff. And there's also another tech coming up right now, which is using lag. So this game has very frequent use of lag because so the history behind the lag, I should say, is that it started out as something that was found very early on in the game. But it was also found that lag was not consistent between computers. So there were two solutions. Either lag was banned or something was done to create consistency between computers. And hence we made an external software for it. So, you know, cheats, cheating and all that. But yeah, so that's how we lag the game in a consistent and fair manner. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. You just saw that right now. Because I lagged, it actually didn't load the fact that the gate is supposed to close. And hence I was able to grab that key that I wasn't actually supposed to be able to grab without actually getting a bucket and putting it on top of that button. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this little trick right here called fight skip. There's a quick fight before this that you skip by just jumping over the trigger or the volume that triggers it, and we're ready for the first boss battle of the game. So this is Mafia Boss. Everyone loves Mafia Boss. No, Mafia Boss is a heavy RNG fight. There are a couple of different outcomes you can get. Everything between a 2-2 and a 4-4, if that makes any sense to anyone. Basically, some of his attacks are random. These sandbags are random, and some of his screams are random. So he'll scream between 2 and 4 times, and he'll bag you, or sandbag you between 2 and 4 times. And the least, or the worst RNG you can possibly get is a 4-4, and the best RNG you can get is a 2-2. So I'm pretty sure I only got 1 bag there, but I might be wrong. Maybe I got 2 bags. Either way, like, essentially you just want good RNG from that, and you can save a lot of time if you're actually able to pull it off. So yeah, right now we're just gonna lag and clip out of the stage, and now we're behind the stage, where we're obviously not supposed to be. And then, okay, so now we got 2 bags. As you can see, this is an example of like bad RNG, right? Because we got the double bags. And then Mafia Boss is just gonna jump up here, and we are going to brewer him, triggering the next battle phase. Boop, break the physics, jump inside of the stage, and lag while we're inside of Mafia Boss's hitbox to bump him off the stage. Below the stage, there's actually a kill volume. So when Mafia Boss hits that kill volume, he just dies, and that's Mafia Boss quick kill. So
easy fight.
Yeah, just a quick little trick there. So
also,
yeah.
hello. I'm fashionably late as usual. I'm
Howdy.
Spruce, the commentator for this run.
And we're about to head to Battle of the Birds. So if you've heard me and there's anything that I missed, feel free to mention it now. So if you can hear me, of course. But yeah. So this is yeah, cool. This is Dead Bird Studio. This is the second world of the game, I suppose. The overarching theme of this world is that there's a battle between 2 birds, DJ Grooves and Conductor, and we're sort of playing levels that fit both of them, I suppose. And you gain these tokens that well, it has story impact if you're running one of the longer categories, but for any percent it's not going to really matter at all. But these are 2 characters we're seeing throughout this world. They're sort of the 2 main characters, and they're both movie creators and competing movie creators at that, so that's sort of their thing, and they keep going at each other. And they're both pretty, like, I guess, infamous characters from the game. So yeah, we're just gonna do a little volume warp there. That allows me to actually hit this volume. That just gets me to the other side, and that is a really, really tricky jump. So unfortunately, I didn't get it, but yeah, we can still get on top of this fence, hopefully. It's really, really hard because this, yeah, okay, so this fence hitbox is super tiny. So I'm actually gonna need to do a second backup here, but yeah, the fence hitbox is super tiny, which makes us jump super tight. You also need to avoid this guy because he spots you very easily. Then we just jump down here, dive boost off, hit the volume, and we're at the end of the level. So there's pretty much a big auto-scroller segment that we just skip by going over the fences in this level. Pretty tricky, pretty hard level, very movement intensive. So as you can see, there are some blunders here and there, but overall, okay. And yeah, so another important thing to mention, or important thing to mention about this run is that that done button at the end there can actually be done with a drawing tablet. So if you want a really, really good Silver Studios eye all the time, you can play with your like a Wacom or whatever tablet and just tap that done button as soon as possible to get to save those frames. But yeah, I'm about to head into Murder on the Owl Express right now. So if you have anything to say about that, Swoosh?
Oh boy. Yeah, so this is probably one of the hardest levels in 80%. So we got introduced to lag a little bit while ago. And we're going to be seeing it here pretty much immediately. Basically, going to be running in, ignoring the crow's questions, and jumping into this trash can. And now we're out of bounds in the train, going up to the top. Basically, there's an invisible floor or ceiling here, depending on where you view it. So you can't just jump up to these platforms that Ava's going up to right now. It's basically you clip back into the train, hit the button, and you're about like 3/4 through the level now. Basically, this whole level is a big, it's kind of like Chapter 6 in Thousand Year Door, if you're familiar with that. You run around, you gather evidence, you talk to people about the crime that happened that we didn't even see because we skipped the whole thing. Get to this key, and then going to do a lag STJ, which basically you lag and then you do a sprint double jump, and you get a big lot of distance.
Yeah, so this is what the lag STJ is. It also allows us to get the Coyote frames more easily because that's pretty much a frame perfect jump if you do it without the lag, and it's very, very convenient to have.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Murder on the Owl Express. So we're gonna be watching it. Yeah, that's the level. So if you got any donations, we got about a 30-second cutscene here, so feel free to keep them coming.
All right, I'll give you a couple donations here. We have $10 from Shiny Pokes. They put this comment in all caps, but I'll keep my voice down. It says, "Let's go, Ava. Good luck. You got this." And finally, $10 from Halogen Lampert from the airport squad from yesterday. And they're saying, "Airport squad reporting in. Hope you got enough rest and practice in. Good luck on your run." And with that, back to you, Eva.
Yeah, any 10 hours at Copenhagen Airport enjoyers? Because I certainly am not one. Yeah, yesterday was a time. I guess today, technically. I came here at like 6 a.m., so cool. Oh, yeah, so this is Picture Perfect. Basically, we are attempting to become a diva, I believe. Am I right in that, Swoosh? Collecting these.
Yeah, this is gaining followers simulator.
Yeah, this is yeah, influencer simulator, I guess. So yeah, we gain all these followers from DJ Grooves, which is like the thing he's all about. Like, this is the surface level things DJ Grooves cares about, and we're gonna set up a little trick.
He's getting you to be popular.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a little trick here called Sewer Persian, but I hopefully I think that might have been too far. Oh, no, got it.
Close. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Sewer Potion. Basically, it like overlaps some of the animations for the points that allows you to get instant the max diva thing that you saw. Usually that's not supposed to be instant. It's supposed to tick up over time. So we skip a lot of like that ticking up over time, and it's a pretty just neat little time save. And having done those levels, we're done with the main levels in the world, and we're about to head into the rifts, which will be our first rifts of the run. So first of all, it's the Murder on the Owl Express rift. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah. So this rift is one, I would say, the hardest one in the run. kind of like the level it came from. Basically, these rifts are platforming challenges. They're not unlike the Super Mario World or Super Mario Sunshine secret stages, except you get to use your hat ability, so they're objectively better. In this one especially, there's going to be a lot of movement. So there's going to be a lag SDJ here, and then another one coming up, and then we're going to be setting up for what's called a lag shot. So the ice hat has a mechanic where you can slide on slopes, and with the power of lag, we can effectively store that momentum, sort of, during the lag, and then if you let go in time, you just shoot off into the other side of the level.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the entire level done right there. It's usually you have to do these are I'm not even gonna call them puzzles, but like small mini games before you're actually able. Yeah, you press buttons before you're able to reach this side. But instead we just skip it all because we're that cool. And yeah, I'm just gonna back to hub, but you've been seeing me doing that in all the rifts. Pretty much backing to hub is just the fastest way to leave rifts. Or it's just the fastest way to leave levels in general, but you can't back to hub when collecting timepieces, and that's the only way to exit normal levels.
Typically you do a like a little lottery or a slot machine at the end of the rift to get a cosmetic or something, but we don't really need them, so might as well just skip through.
Yeah, exactly.
On previous patches of the game, you used to completely just not even soft lock. The game would just kind of go black. Everything would work if you went back to hub.
Also, as you can see,
you couldn't see anything.
As Foos, I'm in current patch. If you if you know anything about the gallery balloons, but I can also talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So there was a patch, not recently, but there was a patch done kind of between like the main speedrun version and what exists now. One of the developers was playing the game in first-person mode, which is obviously not intended, and they kept getting messed up by some of these balloons in gallery. So there was a patch to make the angle of the balloons kind of auto-link into each other, which is not good for the speedrun because we don't want to hit all the balloons. The intent is to hit one of them and kind of go around the rest with the momentum, so that it makes it a little bit more annoying.
Yeah, pretty much so, but we deal with it. Basically, currently I'm running on the current patch version because getting a hold of the patch we usually use is pretty tricky and takes a lot of setup. But there's unfortunately like a patch that allows us to basically emulate how the patch we use functions on current patch, except for the gallery balloons pretty much and a couple other very minor things. So I missed this, but so yeah, this is CO. As you saw there, this is back skip. We pretty much skip a large cutscene. Oh, that's not good. Whatever. A little bit nervous, as you can tell, but yeah. So basically, we are gonna layer over a cutscene here, and usually you would be sitting in that bag and getting a cutscene where it would just tell you that, yeah, your snatcher is here, you're signing off your soul, etc. But we are actually avoiding that by booping out of the bag, which breaks our collision, lets us leave, and then transfers the level and get to another cutscene that overlays and makes sure that the first cutscene that you're supposed to see doesn't actually play. We also are stuck while waiting for that cutscene, just in the bag, hopelessly screaming for help, and yeah, so it's just a huge time save then. Not that hard of a trick, just once you get the timing down. Obviously, you didn't see me get it.
Well, you're kind of good.
No, you're good.
When you're in the bag state, the game only lets you do a couple things, which is kind of nice because you're really not supposed to be able to do anything. You can only really just jump. If you try and dive or anything, it looks like you get stuck, but you technically don't. You just boop again, and you kind of unfreeze your animation, and you can keep going.
Yeah, it's super convenient. And also now I'm gonna die. Usually not positive, and hopefully I don't miss this. That's good. Okay. So essentially I'm dying here into the timepiece, which unlike usually you would be sent back to the main menu and you would have to do a lot of hub movement. But here we actually just skip doing the hub movement at all, and it's a pretty big time save, and that's why we die on purpose there, because we still get to collect the timepiece while also skipping all that hub movement. It's very fast, and yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a little lag warp there. Did we explain that? If not, you can do that right now.
Yeah, lag warps are basically, the game has a mechanic. If you are stuck in a place for about a second, it warps you back to your last safe position. We can talk about safe positions later. And by jumping and lagging on the same frame, we have a keybind for that. We can do that a couple times in a row without ever touching the ground. Game thinks we're stuck, warps us back. Pretty simple.
Yeah, and what you saw there is
But
well
it
dive.
looks like the game just freezes.
Yep. What you saw there was well dive, which is just it works, I believe, because I've had a collision on that particular like corner works, and just allows you to slide up it, sort of like you would if you had the Doka badge, as I like to say. But other than that, like, yeah, that's just a very easy trick. Actually, it might look deceptively hard. I'm actually not sure how hard it looks to onlookers, but it's not hard at all. As long as you get the timing down, it's pretty free. So yeah, that's well dive.
Yeah, it really just depends on your angle.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like super angle dependent. And now we just complete the rest of the well. Hopefully gonna go smooth without any hiccups. So yeah, gonna exit the level here, grab this cherry, break this ice wall, and we're out of the well. So now that we've completed the well, we're about to enter a very interesting level. In a way, one of my favorite levels, but in a way also not one of my favorite levels, because it's got a run ending trick, usually run ending trick that has gotten easier over time, but it's still not easy. So you'll get to see that, but if you have any donations to read before we get there, feel free to do it now.
No problem whatsoever. We have $100 from Paxis saying, "Love to all, greetings from German living in Austria." We also have $25 from Jordan saying, "Good luck, Ava, on getting as many of the hats in time." And yeah, both of these donations are going towards the Goat Yoga incentive for Goat Simulator 3, which is currently standing at $225 out of $1,500. So keep those donations coming. And as one last thing, we've hit $3,000. Lovely kickstart to the event. Let's keep those donations coming because we're trying to reach 135,000.
So
but with that, back to you.
So Swish, do you want to explain Manor Hover?
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Source games at all, you might be familiar with how prop flies work. Basically, you stick one item on top of another, and then pick up the bottom item, and then you just go flying. This is almost identical to that. Going to be putting a cherry on top of another cherry, picking up the bottom cherry, and just going flying. So.
And there is a conveniently sized hole in the floor here, or a hole in the ceiling.
There's a hole in the rock that I guess the manor's in, and there's also a hole in the collision, which works out perfectly for us.
We're gonna hit this on
because that's the goal.
We're not gonna hit that on purpose. I was trying to hit like a little bit on the other side, which sort of sends us in the correct direction. But yeah, so yeah, this is Manor Hover. Missing this is quite bad in a run, so you don't want to miss it. But yeah, it's actually also deceptively hard, as was mentioned, because of there are huge invisible walls that you don't want to hit. So yeah, this is the inside of the manor, and luckily for us, we wouldn't be here if the devs hadn't actually put a little dev skip for people who don't like horror levels to be able to skip it, or just for the devs to skip it in general. We're gonna jump on top of this door and jump over a cutscene volume that's there. The cutscene volume actually only triggers a cutscene that zooms in on the chest, but it takes forever. And it's just like...
It is the most useful cutscene in the game.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, I really needed to know where that chest in the middle of the room is. Thank you, game.
You need to go to the back of the room where there is nothing else significant in the room. It's super important.
Yeah, so important.
Otherwise this level would be probably 3 or 4 minutes longer, which is not good.
Yeah, and definitely wouldn't be in any percent. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Next up is a very fun little rift. A lot of people really, really like this rift. I think it's okay as well. Not like my favorite level or anything, but yeah, maybe one of my favorite rifts now that I actually think about it. Pipe's really, really cool. There are some super advanced threats in this rift that are also really interesting. Mostly IL only, but they have been attempted in runs. I won't be doing those. But if you want to have a look at like how quirky this level gets, I would recommend checking out any of the Pipe ILs on the Head in Time speedrunning leaderboards, because it gets really, really, really cool. There are some really, really talented runners in this community.
Honestly, ILs for all the rifts are super impressive. They all have their own like unique strats that are not really seen in any percent run, just because of the difficulty or like inconsistency of them. Gallery is one particular one that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's significantly different than what was done here, and what really anyone does on 8%.
So this is about to be the end of Pipe. Just as long as I can get over these platforms without falling and actually hit the timepiece, which I did. And I'm just gonna boop off here for entertainment value or something. Who knows? Honestly, it's just a habit that I haven't kicked. So, but yeah, that's the second to last level here in Subcon Forest, and we're about to head into the last one, the first-person shooter, every controller player's favorite level. So I wanna talk a little bit about mail delivery service, please.
Yeah, this game is mixing up genres, so we're moving from a platformer into a third-person shooter. So we're on Snatcher Scooter, delivering mail. There's really not much to the level. It's very route-based, as you can see. Ava's gonna line up for a double hit. Basically, there's an angle that lets you hit one, this one in front here, and if you do it right, it'll hit the one behind, like way off in the distance, just because these mail packages don't really have collision, and they kind of just keep traveling after they hit something. And that was that.
Yeah, that's mail delivery service. So one of my friends is actually incredibly good at that level. He's called Mookie. I will be mentioning him later, but he's been grinding this level to death. And there's also Avery, who's been at this level. There are quite a few mail delivery service enthusiasts in the community, and it's quite a fun level. There are some setups that are absolutely wild that allow you to just hit shots from out of nowhere, pretty much, and just set up really, really crazy shots against super, super low IL times. So just another IL that I really recommend checking out. And without further ado, I'm going to head into one of the hardest levels. I'm really going to need to concentrate on this one. Hopefully I can get it.
So this is Golden Bolt. I mentioned earlier about safe spots. This level is very, very important to kind of use them. So basically, you're going to start off with a lag shot to get the first ticket. The goal of this is just get 4 tickets. So what a safe spot is, just any normal ground, usually. There's kind of some exceptions. And the game updates your safe spot if you're on the ground for more than 1 frame. So what you're going to see Ava doing is jumping around, but either doing a lag dive boost like that, or jumping the first frame that she hits the ground. Doing that won't update your safe spot. So right now, if you were to get stuck, the safe spot would have been at the top of the level.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I fell right at the end. Yeah. That's unfortunate, but whatever. So yeah, basically I was supposed to go all the way. Oh my god. Breakdown. No, but yeah, I was supposed to go all the way back to the start. But obviously that didn't happen just because I butt bonked on the final line. So very unfortunate timing there. But it is what it is. Gonna re-equip the hookshot real quick here, and that's out of the Golden Bolt. So a normal IL time I usually get in this level is like in the 50s. So as you can see, it saves a lot of time to get the light warp, but also like kind of sloppily executed. But either way,
definitely a punishing level.
Oh yeah, really, really punishing level. And up next we're entering the Golden Bolt again. Shocker. And what we'll be doing, the Time Rift, that's the closest to the Golden Bolt, which is Surus, one of the few levels with an actual controller advantage in the game. So there's just a little slide that's really, really pretty much impossible in KBM, so that makes it slightly more optimal in controller, but it's nothing really to worry about. In general, keyboard is considered the most optimal for the game, but yeah, it's both things are definitely viable. So as people probably can see, this level is very Super Mario Sunshine with all the hogs, and yeah, it's very clear where it got its inspiration from. But yeah, that's another Rift. They're all really, really fast like this, as you've probably seen so far. So that's Surus. And up next we have another really, 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 really hard level in the game. Not looking forward to this one either. This is also another super punishing level, and if you mess up here in your run is usually over. It's another place relying on safe spots, etc. So you really, really don't want to make any mistakes in this one. This is heating up Mafia Town, so if you want to commentate over it while I concentrate on the level, that would be nice.
Yep, so again, very important to maintain the safe spot here. The lag dive boosts are just as effective as like doing the 1 frame jump. For whatever reason, it like really only works on controller. But going to the statue, making sure to set your safe spot to the statue so we can lag shot off of it over to the next faucet. There's really weird collision, and all those fish can hit you, so that lag shot is not guaranteed.
Yeah, it's
Gonna go up here,
my angle was
and then
just
this
a
is
little
gonna
bit
be our
far
hub
to
for
left.
the next two. And a lag shot all the way down.
So you can see that these lag shots are saving a ton of time in this level.
Yeah.
This level is
Worth noting
actually
that those falling platforms are not safe spots, so
Yeah.
good.
so gonna go below here after hitting the balloon. Hitting that balloon is also pretty tricky. That's another sort of run ending part of this level.
Yeah.
So I'm getting
Balloon
windowed a
preserver
little bit here.
momentum. And that's
Yeah.
the level pretty much. Just gonna run back to the start.
So there's a little quirk with the lag warps. We sometimes get Windows, and there are like newer versions of Windows really struggle with the lag warping. And sometimes your character will just jump, and there's like nothing you can do, and it messes up your lag warp, and it gets really messy. There's a new version of Hatlag that I didn't have time to set up that supposedly fixes this, or at least minimizes this problem. But yeah, since it's a Windows tied issue, we just call it getting Windowsed. It's really annoying, but finally we seem to have found a fix. But you got to see it on display here anyways. So that was heating up Mafia Town. That's gonna unlock the final rift in, final rift in the Mafia Town world, which will be entering through Barrel Battle. And this is, at the highest level, this rift is super hard, but at the beginner to intermediate level, it's probably the easiest level in the game, I would say.
Yeah, I would say this is probably the easiest rift in the game, which is weird because it's locked behind one of the hardest levels.
Yeah.
So I guess the game gives you a little bit of a downtime after you're stressed out from heating up.
And then you just fall in because you're stressed from heating up, and then you just fall out of nowhere in this level, and your own is definitely dead instead of being maybe dead. Common occurrence from my experience. Even though this rift is really free, especially if you do these strats, because they're not really hard at all. Then you kind of just...
Yeah, I think the only hard part here is actually grabbing the timepiece because everyone who's played this game has had an issue with depth perception of the timepiece here.
Depth perception is a real big issue in this game. Luckily I got it there, but yeah, it's not great. And I'm gonna head into cheating in a race now, which is a really interesting level. So the game is actually gonna tell us that we're lacking an item, like an item needed to complete the level, but we're gonna enter it anyways. Ooh. So yeah.
In order to get the item, you need 32 yarn and also have Visit Alpine, and that's way too long. So no thanks. Basically, you're supposed to get the time stop hat, which is the one hat that we don't get.
Yep. It's super out of the way to get, so we just cheat instead. So this is like one of the most disliked levels for beginners because it pretty much demands that you have at least decent movement and allows you to actually beat the race before the Mafia guy. Like this, where you're actually supposed to use a time stop hat, but if you have decent to okay movement, you're gonna be able to complete this level, just like I did. I missed the momentum dive boost and stuff like that, so there's definitely a lot of room, or definitely a lot of lenience there. And yeah, we're gonna head into the lab now, which is another time rift, so if you have a quick donation, that would be cool.
Absolutely. We have $15 from Wartab saying, "Good luck, Ava. I'm proud and happy to see you do another run at ESA again.
Thank you
Keep
so much.
it up." Donation goes toward Goat Yoga, because Goat Simulator is supposed to be relaxing. Indeed it is. Back to you, Eva.
Okay, so this is the lab. If you want to explain the turnip while I do it, please.
Yeah, so that's a turnip. You turn and you go up.
Yep.
Basically, if you like hit the corner of, if you hit like an intersection between like two surfaces when you're in your turnaround animation, sometimes you get clipped into the wall. And in this game, when you're like in a wall and you try and move, the game likes to zip you straight up, which is super useful for this level where there's a big pole and you can jump from the pole to the end of the stage. So you zip up that and just jump off of it and complete the stage pretty much.
Yep. So we're about to enter the final proper world of the game. This is Neoxa. This world is very broken. When this DLC came out, ahead in time really exploded, and the times kept going down. And there are a lot of new strats here that I'm gonna need to focus on that I've picked up for this marathon specifically. I will show them off even if I don't get them properly. So like, there's one here. Okay, so I will show you. I didn't get it properly, but so we clip in here. Slide on top of this train. I'm actually gonna need to wait now because I missed the cycle. Oops. Oh, did it again. Okay, I'm gonna need to wait one more time. Not a problem. So, oh, well, it's not really letting me SJ, that's cool, and now I'm falling off. Okay. Well, anyways, we're supposed to be going around that. I'll just show the normal way then. But basically, there's a strat there where we go out of bounds and end up on the other side of this train. But obviously, for some reason, it just wasn't allowing me to SJ. Genuinely not sure what happened there, but it's not an issue because we can just complete the level normally like this. So, I'm gonna slide down here, jump up here, and get on top of this train. And this train is gonna get us out to the main station and for the first timepiece, but we're actually not gonna collect it. This is also part of these new strats that we found. And we're gonna try to do some animation overlaying and setting up for later stuff, so... Oh, did that work? Yeah, okay. So, that probably works. So we're gonna actually set up this timepiece now, but we're not gonna grab it right now. Instead, we're gonna jump up here, we're gonna jump up here, do a dive boost and a jump dive boost, and try to hopefully reach this next train. Yeah, okay, we reached that. Good. And then get up here, jump up here, and hopefully get up here. Nope. Okay, that's fine because we can just back that up by doing a TSJ, and yeah. Actually, I'm not gonna make that. I'm gonna need to wait for another cycle here. So you can see these cycles are really, really punishing if you don't make them. That's one of the worst parts of this new route is that it's a lot more cycle dependent. But yeah, as you can see, it's easy to back it out, no problem. And next up comes Dumpster Dive, another sort of like, I guess, infamous level where we dumpster and then we dive. And we're out of bounds.
That's all there is to it. First you dumpster, then you dive.
Yeah. So yeah, this that clip larger is actually really, really tricky. It's pretty unlenient. So, and we're gonna flip back in here and grab this timepiece, and I'm gonna do something called a Plurm preview, which lets me see where the timepiece is in accordance to me. That might be too far away, but I'll try to make it. No, okay, I didn't make it, but essentially what I was supposed to be doing there is like overlaying the timepiece animation with this shop animation. Now I have to do the walk of shame over to the timepiece and get it like this. So we were supposed to be getting this just as the last level ended, pretty much. Instead, we have to just do this short little walk, which is not really a huge issue. And yeah, that's pretty much how that trick functions and how that saves time. Pretty recently found, so unfortunately I didn't get it. But it's also really, really computer dependent. There is sometimes a little bit of lag, etc. That makes it really, really inconsistent to find like a perfect setup for everyone for, especially since this whole area is very, very cycle heavy. So yeah, next is this green manhole, or yeah. So we're gonna do a little stretch with the eyesight here that allows us to fall faster. We're gonna clip through this hedge, and oh, we're out of bounds again. Cool. And we're gonna dive boost off here, slide, and dive boost off here, and get a lot of momentum from that, which allows us to yet again just be on these boxes where most of the timepieces can be found because they're sort of stored. They're stored like this, even though you're not supposed to be getting through them like this, obviously, and collect that timepiece.
Yeah, the good thing about this Metro is that everything's already loaded. It's a free roam level, so you can really go wherever you want. And if you go out of bounds, you can pretty much just go wherever you feel like, which is super useful for collecting the 5 timepieces we need.
Yeah, so we're just gonna do a really, really quick timepiece at the end here that I've just saved for last. There's not really a purpose to that. It's just the most convenient since we're already in the jewelry store. We're gonna do a lag STJ over here and collect the final timepiece. And that is the final timepiece before we enter the final level of the game. So if you have any donations now, go ahead and read more of them.
All right, here's a couple donations. $10 from Jackis007 saying, "Let us find a cure for Alzheimer's." We also have $20 from Christian Royal, our last runner, saying, "Throughout the Stray run, I was counting the number of donations that meowed, and I'm donating $5 for each one. So thank you very much to the 4 donators that meowed for the cat game." Thank you very much, Christian. And I'll leave you with this $5 donation from Anonymous saying, "I lost my grandpa to Alzheimer's in 2018, donating in his memory. Enjoying the runs. Best of luck, Ava. Let's go." And trans rights. So, back to you, Ava.
All right, so we're about to head into the last level of the game, as I said, which is the finale. If you want to talk a little about the gate skip here, Swiss, that I'll be doing shortly.
So this gate here has a little bit of an opening in it. It's a lot less lenient than that looked, or what the gauge, the hitbox shows. If you do a TSJ off of that grandfather clock to the left, you can just pretty much jump right over. They had patched it a little bit. You used to just be able to double jump over, but they changed the hitbox, but they still left the opening, so made it a little bit harder, but still possible.
Yep.
So this is Finale. The first part is the Gauntlet. Ava's going to be going for a cycle here. Basically, there's a couple pillars that are going to be at the start here, and if you get to them fast enough, you can catch this first cycle, which if
I'm just gonna have to jump here.
dive boost, yeah, that was kind of weird actually.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a combination of just dive boosting onto it and doing a damage warp. Pretty much the checkpoint that it sets is a little bit later than where the pillar was. There's going to be a little lag shot here just to save a little bit of time and also look really cool.
And a
I
little,
think it did both of those.
yeah, and a little manip here on these flame throwers. I don't know. No, I accidentally took damage there, but that's fine. We're fine with damage. I'm gonna have to actually jump over this rocket. Usually you get there in time to just dive boost and, or get a dive boost in there, which is a little bit faster, but it's fine to do it that way as well. And I'm dead.
Ah,
But yeah, there is no. I guess there is no bot there. We always just end up here. I don't know why I ended up
that
facing the
Yeah.
wrong direction. I've never seen that, but that's cool. Oh,
I
okay.
don't think I have either.
No, that's fine, I guess. So yeah, this is the finale. It's really difficult. It's just like a gauntlet of movement, and if you're a little bit shaky, it can really easily cause your death because we're doing sort of we're doing another dying on purpose strat, pretty much, which you'll be seeing in a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, right now I'm just gonna be proceeding through it like usual, and gonna use the Dweller Rat here on this sort of Dweller platform. Dive boost in here just in time. Set up a little DSJ off the edge here so you're actually able to reach the top of the fence. Normally you can't do that with a normal sprint jump. And yeah, get on top of here, and obviously you're supposed to climb up there. And yeah, keep avoiding these flame chargers. I still need to take 1 point of damage here for the thing that I'm setting up to work. So I'm gonna do it on this flame charger. And yeah, we're gonna dive boost off this platform down here. And I missed the hammer cycle, which is like fine. These like hammers are in a cycle, and sometimes you can get them, save a little bit of time off them. So obviously I died here, which is like not ideal, but it's actually gonna be ideal to die coming up right now. So yeah, this is the Mustache Girl fight. So while I concentrate on that, you can explain a little bit about it.
Yeah. So Mustache Girl has 3 attacks here. There's the slap, which is that one. There's the timepieces, which is this one, and there's a torpedo, which is this one. The goal is to get to 4 hits on Mustache Girl, and then the idea is for her to hit you and you hit her at the same time. If you do that correctly, this phase is skipped. Sometimes, like what happened there, if she does the timepieces attack, if it's sometimes just not worth going for and you just hit her instead because it takes too long. You can technically set up the death warp on all 3 of the attacks, but the timepiece one is incredibly inconsistent. So this is the final fight. Also, if your bit rate's bad, it's not you, it's the game, trust me. She's going to do these 3 attacks again in an order, and then repeat them in an order. So that was that. If you hit her with a timepiece in this little transition phase, she skips the little running around and trying to beam you. So this is the Mafia Ball phase. You're going to hit her once with the timepiece, then hit her with the Mafia Ball, repeat that another time.
And yeah, that's it. So I'm very low, but that's fine. Hopefully don't die here, but I think I'm good. I'm just gonna play this safe, phase safe, but this is Cherry phase, so this is the most RNG phase of the entire battle. Basically, she can randomly choose to shield, and sometimes these cherries that are thrown at you, which break those shields, aren't thrown. And if that happens, you lose 10 million years of video game time. So ideally, that does not happen. But yeah, we'll see what kind of RNG we get. Usually, we want to get as few shields as possible, and as many so-called like double hits as possible, which is where I'll hit her twice instead of normal single hit. which we might may or may not see. So far this is like pretty average. If I can get a double here now, okay. That was been very good if I got a double there. Unfortunately not.
This should be a 3 cherry, which is about 60%
That gets attacked.
of cases. So
Yep. This is
not too bad.
yeah, that's pretty much the average expected outcome. Not a single double is a bit annoying, but hey, you take what you can get, right? So we're about to enter the absolute final stage of the game. I can't die in this stage, luckily, which I've been prone to do so far, I suppose, but in this stage, it's impossible to die. All the little evil, or I guess they're not really evil, but all the bad guys, as they're called, sort of sacrifice themselves, I guess, to give you infinite life in this phase. Without it, this phase would actually be criminally hard. So I'm very, very glad that we actually do have that life total, so that Master Skirl doesn't just destroy us. So welcome to Bitrate Zone Max.
It's even worse. Yeah, the goal here is to get more double hits. It's possible here to throw a Brewer and then do a homing attack on the Such where you hit her with Brewer, she teleports, then you kind of just home in back on her.
So I'm just going to press that here?
Possible.
No, okay.
Almost. It's technically possible to do that in the cherry phase as well, but it sometimes
like that.
Swiss off block. Yeah, there's a double. She only has 8 health in this phase, so it should be 1 more hit.
Yeah, and there we go.
And that's the fight.
So, that has been a Hat in Time. I hope you all enjoyed it. It's been my pleasure to bring it all to you. And thanks so much to my commentators, Roos, for being here. I've had a great time showing up this great game, and I hope someone's been interested or wants to try out the game. And if you do, I'd recommend checking out the Boop Troop, which is the Hat in Time speedrunning Discord. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my very, very good friends in the Inner Game of Tennis Discord. They are fantastic people, and I love them so much, and they helped me out prepare for this run. Special shout out to Mookie for helping me out with the Nyakusta strats, although I wasn't really able to show them to you today, but I was able to explain the concepts to you so you actually understand, or hopefully understood what was going on. Without further ado though, that has been me run, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Is that time, by the way?
That is time, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, a lovely, lovely technical showcase of a Hat in Time here by Evanesia. Thank you very much for this run. I'm going to leave you with this one last donation here. It's $25, well, actually, no, it's $33 from Anonymous, and it simply goes, boop, boop. Very nice. So, quick intermission, and when we are back, we're going to have the very next run. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back.